What's up, everybody? This is Jack from Crypto 49er, bringing you my knowledge in cryptocurrency. Today I want to talk about Gekko Trading Bot, StepGains upgraded. So the reason why I wanted to upgrade StepGains, and for people that don't know what StepGains is, I'm going to give you a link to my previous video about StepGains. Is a strategy I wrote last year that essentially will not let you lose any money on your trades. It's a good and bad, the double-edged sword, because the good is, yes, you obviously will not lose money. The bad is that you will be holding on to some serious bags for a very, very long time if the market goes against you. But here's the reason why I decided to upgrade StepGains, at least one of the many reasons. For one is that this is Ethereum Classic, as you can see here, and love that huge spike, which I did not participate in, unfortunately. Still trying to figure out a strategy that will hold and get into this kind of spike. But point being, you see that it didn't do anything for this whole entire period. Actually, I made some gains over here probably. So it made like a couple percent gains using StepGains. Great. And then it missed this whole bit right here when it went from like 4 to like 14 for the high. That's basically almost triple its value and within that 1 hour. And then it just fell down and down and down, way back down to like 7s right here. So, and that's essentially what happened with StepGains strategy with my own bot here. It bought in at $7.68 14 days ago. So roughly it missed all of this good stuff right here, and then it bought in somewhere around here, 768. So it's around here roughly, bought around here, and I've been holding since then because it actually dropped more today. Fun, right? We are supposed to be switching from the bear to bull market, so this is basically holding up my capital. And the fact is, why did I have to buy around here at 768 when it could have just bought lower? Maybe if you bought around here, let's just say, yeah, I mean it's 5 something or even 6 something, it wouldn't have been great, but it's a lot less to try to gain back from. So instead of getting back from 7s, you could go from 6 and change. I mean, although now it's down to 5, it's kind of ridiculous. The idea is this: there's ways to make StepGains better so that it doesn't buy at the wrong time. So let's go ahead and explore what the ideas are. And also there's certain other improvements that will make StepGains better. Let's go over them. So the first one is buy only if below 200 SMA for the hourly. So you'll see it right here, and I probably used these trend lines before, the green and orange. The orange is the SMA 200, and then the green is SMA 200 times 1.01. People use SMA as a way to determine if it's in a bull or bear trend in a sense too. There's many ways to use SMA. What I'm using it in here is simply this: when the price is above SMA 200, basically around this whole time here, since starting at around March 29th on, I would not have bought. Like, the strategy would not have bought, because if it didn't buy before, it should have bought around here and just held. Let's say buy from March 27th, and kind of just held until, hopefully it would have been here, April 7th. It would have been really nice to sell that point. But heck, even if it sold around like 7 or 8 or 9 even, those are perfectly fine too. That's been practically double your gains. That's number one. So let's see, how do we do that in the code? The first thing we have to do is add in the SMA as a indicator. So just like the RSI here. Actually, this strategy doesn't use the RSI, but right now it's in here. So anyway, the point being, SMA, we need the indicator, and then the next thing is you want to declare a instance of that indicator with a 200 candle, with 200 candles for it to calculate. So it uses the last 200 candles to calculate the SMA, and then from here we need to add in the fact that it is not just any regular SMA, because right now StepGains is running on a 1 minute candle, but we want the SMA to run on a 60-minute candle. So say SMA 60, a 60-minute candle that uses the last 200 candles. So what we need to do is, inside the init function in here, we need to use a batcher to batch 60 minutes of candles into a function that will write to the SMA indicator. We'll need these two lines, the new candle batcher and when the candle battery is filled, you're going to call the update 60. So that actually will write the candle information into the SMA indicator. So we'll write that in here inside the update function. And the update function runs every minute, or based on how often your candle is, how small your candle is. So in my case, in here is every minute is a 1 minute candles. So every 60 minutes it's going to write all 60 candles into the 60-minute batcher, and the 60-minute batcher will then create 60-minute candles that can be written into the SMA indicator. And you also have to flush the battery after you're done. So inside this update 60 function in here, all you're seeing is it's two things really. It is updating the SMA 60 with the candle, and we're creating a candle 60. So this is and the candle 60 creates a 60-minute candle for reference. So I don't even know. So now we do all of that. We can then use the SMA indicator in here inside the buy function. So instead of just buying when it recovers from the lowest price, because that's essentially what StepGains does right now. Is actually when it waits for the lowest price point that it can possibly reach, and then it starts rebounding from that point on, then it will start buying. So we're gonna need that requirement still, and also we're gonna need that the SMA 60 result is greater than the 5-minute candle close. So even though we're running on the 1-minute candle, we're still using 5-minute candles. Long story in here. But anyway, once this if statement is satisfied, we can then go into a long position on this particular strategy. This is definitely one way to improve StepGains so that it doesn't buy in the wrong time. In this example here, it will basically never buy at this point in here when it was like 7 something. It'll wait until hopefully around here to buy instead of at 7 something it'll buy in here. Probably it's not a great idea, but at least it's buying at a much cheaper price than 7 something. So that is upgrade number 1. Let's go on to upgrade number 2. And that is use a 200 SMA to guide sell. So if 5% gain and below the SMA 200, sell. If it's above, hold until 50% gains. I know this is kind of ridiculous, but we'll show you what it is. So again, the idea is if it's gonna make money like down here, I mean I was making some money over here, so basically it was going from here to like here, probably sold over here, made a couple percent gains, like 3-4% gains, and then repeats itself, so probably right here to right here, it'll probably make some gains, and then that's what it was doing previously. What it's gonna do is instead this. So right here, if it bought in right here, for example, I don't know if it actually will buy in, but let's say if it bought in here, it wouldn't sell over here now. If it was actually a few percent gain, so say from here to here is let's say a 5% gain, it wouldn't sell it. It will actually hold it and hold it and hold it until it actually hits 50%. Even 50% is actually not that much because again, that is a huge gain. From here to actually this looks pretty high. Actually it would have probably sold around here from 4 something to 6. It might have been close to 50%, but if not, it would just keep on going and then it would sold around here when it did actually reach more than 50% gain. So still not quite hitting that crazy 300% or 200% gains, but at least it's making a huge profit. Let's look at the code and see how to do this. Just basically right after the buy function here, we have the regular sell function. So now we have multiple sell functions. We have sell at 5% gain, that's previously, but we added that it's still less than the 200 SMA hourly. So it has to, it still has to be, so we added this code right here, and SMA 60 result is greater than candle 5 close. So we need that to make sure that it is under the SMA 200. But now here is the 50% gain. So the 50% gain is we have a new variable in here called huge gain sell, which basically is a 50% of the buy price. So it will only sell if the candle if the 5-minute candle is greater than the huge candles L. And that's basically it. It doesn't care whether that is actually above the SMA 200. Because honestly, if it was 50% gains, it's, I would say 100% above the SMA 200. So it wouldn't matter anyway. We really didn't need to check the SMA 200. We just want to make sure that it's above 50% and we can sell right then and there. So let's check on the third. Let's go to the third upgrade that we did here. So the third upgrade is sell if current price is 5% lower than the highest price, but still 98% of target. So let's go to the code again. So in here, this is what it is. Sell if price is 5% below. So essentially, what this is literally a trailing stop. Let's go back to the chart right here, show you. Essentially, it's going to be like this. If it's going to go up here to 6 something, but then start dropping to 5%, it's just saying, okay, you know what? We bought at 4 something. This is still well above our target. So we can, our target is only 5% gain. So if it went up to here, but then it dropped down to here, it's obviously more than 5% loss. It's going to say, okay, hey, you know what? Let's just sell at this point. So it's still probably going to miss that gain, but it's still going to miss that massive gain, but at least it is able to capture and capitalize on some additional profits right over here. So this is effectively, it is a trailing stop. And I know a lot of you have been telling me that Gekko's built-in trailing stop don't work very well. So this is a way to write a trailing stop code if you're interested. So let's go to the code to show you how to write a trailing stop here. What we need is the highest exposed price. And the highest exposed price is this. Essentially, we have to go back in here. We need to get the exposed. So var exposed, that essentially means whenever we buy into it, we are in a position, we buy into the crypto, we are exposed. So we would go into the, I believe this is on trade. Go over here. Yeah, on trade function right here. This is when we set the expose. So if this is a buy, expose is true. If this is a sell, expose is false. So we no longer expose that we sold our crypto. So we're going to use that as a way to identify if we bought into the crypto. So we bought into the crypto, then what we're going to do next is on the check function right here, if exposed and highest exposed price is less than the candle 5.close. So if the highest exposed price is less than the current price, we are going to update the highest exposed price to the current price. So we are only going to check, we are going to only update the highest exposed price when we have bought into the market. So in this way, we will know at all times when the highest price is when we are exposed to the market. If the highest exposed price is greater than the candle that closed by 5%, so it's 1.05, so by 5%, and the candle that closed price is greater than the sell price times 0.98. Again, it's the sell price. If you go back up to when we bought it, the sell price is 1.05. It is a 5% gain. So at this point, if we are 98% of a 5% gain, we still will make some money, but it won't be as a lot. Okay, so it won't be 5%. The point is, this is just for you to kind of get out of the this. This is kind of for you to get out of the trade. So and still make some money out of it. So that is the point of this trailing stop. So you could change the amount in here. Essentially, if you change the amount in here, you're changing how much the trailing stop is. So, I mean, obviously the strategy is all hard-coded, but you guys can feel free to change it so that it uses config file. But this is the upgrade number 3 to actually let it to actually have a trailing stop. So let's go to the upgrade number 4. Set buy-sell triggers remotely via Telegram. So in Telegram. So in the code, right now we have Telegram set up in the code itself where you can check the status and find out, and you can actually initiate buy and sells via Telegram if you have Telegram set up on your Gekko trading bot. So the thing is, you actually don't want to just buy and sell. You want to actually change when it buy and when it sells. So in here you have these two new commands here: set lowest price and set sell price. So set lowest price will set the price where it bounces off from. So essentially, if you set the lowest price to $4, for example, and then the price is $3.98, So it actually what would then happen is it's actually gonna bounce up when it actually bounce back up from 398 and to $4 and then into 401. That's when it actually buys. So it's gonna buy when it hits your lowest price. So and at and the other command here, set sell price, will let you actually set the price where Gekko will sell your crypto for you at that particular price. So let's say that you're aiming for $7, for example. It'll sell it at exactly $7. Well, it'll sell it when it hits $7. So this is upgrade number 4. Let's go to upgrade number 5, and that's save the buy sell, so it knows when to sell even if it crashes. So lately, I have to say Gekko has been pretty good. It hasn't really crashed at all in terms of the ones I run on my VM. But if it does crash, you do want it to recover this information, like where it was basically. So this is one way to do it. So pretty much how I have done with the tracker, the balance tracker, I added another piece of code that will basically read from a recovery file. So right now, this part's the read portion. Let's go to the write portion first. So the write portion, it is right over here. There's a function called write recovery file. So essentially what it does is it's going to check if config that trader is enabled. So it's going to check if on your config file, if you have a live trading enabled, then it's going to write the recovery file. Because honestly, you don't need to write a recovery file when it's backtesting. So it's going to check that first, and then in here it's going to create a file object, and it's going to store all this information: the watch price, the lowest price, the sell price, huge gain sell, highest exposed price, advice, all of this into a file called StepGains-recovery.json. So when does it actually write into the recovery file? It's actually going to write into it every sell, buy and sell. So you see right here, this.write recovery file. So this.write recovery file. During the sell process, it's actually just going to really clean up the recovery file to make it all in a clean state, so that if it does recover from a crash, it knows that, oh hey, you're not currently exposed, you didn't buy any crypto. When it bought the crypto, you definitely wanted to write into the recovery file. So that's basically it. So I ran some quick backtests on this strategy here, and I would say it performs okay, I would say, because right now, if it is just running based from January to now, it made about 10%, which is okay, because the main thing is this: it again never loses your money. So it made a couple of positive trades, and then it kind of held on for 3 months because it couldn't find a way to exit out properly. So eventually found it right here. It exited over here when it missed that huge spike up. So kind of sucks, but it did, because you see this little thing right here, this little bump up this line. This is what happened is a trailing stop. So it went up over here and it fell 5%, and then it's like, oh hey, I'm making money. Let me just sell it because it's a trailing stop of 5%. So it sold in here and then bought back in here. So this is actually around 6 something, not 7 like here. So 6 something. Better performance, but still kind of sucks because right now we have 5s. So still looking to improve the strategy in that sense, in terms of buying correctly. But if you actually just comment out that section right here where if you comment out the trailing stop, let's say you just did this, right? You comment out the trailing stop. Then this is the result that you get instead. You get a 42% gain, which is pretty good. So, but you are only basically making like 3 trades at this point. You're gonna be holding it for 3 months again, but then you will actually sell it when it actually made 50% gains. So let's show you right here. So it sold it right here. Bought it probably way over here in January, and then just held all the way to April for like more than 3 months practically. And it sold right as it getting up to climb up that huge performance gain. So at least it did made 50% profit. So I'm not saying this is a better way to trade, but perhaps it is. I mean, depending on your point of view. But that is my video for today, guys. Let me know what you guys think about the upgraded version of StepGains, and just a couple of other things to remind you guys. So actually, I included a lot of the changes that X Mike added to his code to his Gekko trading bot. So I merged all those changes in here. So as you can see, he actually finally, I think it took him he stopped updating Geckos since end of January. Maybe I think February he made one update, but he has been updating Gekko for a while, and all of a sudden he made a bunch of updates. So I merged all of this code in here into my branch called latest. Problem is, it's not thoroughly tested. I don't know if some of the things work. Like if you're on Coinbase Pro, you probably don't want to use this branch because it might still have an issue where it doesn't sell properly, and that's why I'm not using this branch just yet. I mean, until I actually get it to thoroughly test it. But this branch does have all the changes that he has made into his version of Gekko. And this is the branch you will find the StepGains strategy when I do get a chance to upload it. Secondly, I am on Patreon, so I appreciate it if you guys become a patron, and patreon.com/crypto49er. Again, I'd like to thank all of my patrons, and especially Michael, my newest patron, my newest $2 patron, and everyone else in here. Just like to really give thanks to all of you for being my patron. So as always, if it isn't crypto, it isn't worth mining, it isn't worth speculating. Peace out.